how doing less gave me so much more. So context around this presentation I'm about to give you right now. I recently spoke at my buddy's event. He had his 8-figure mastermind in Nashville, Tennessee. Average person there was doing $300,000 a month. There was like nobody below that. And they were all talking about a bunch of tactical, like insightful stuff, right? And when he asked me to speak, I was like, yeah, dude, I'd love to speak about ads or sales funnels or team members. And he's like, yeah, no, I actually like you to speak about how you really don't work that much. I was like, dude, I don't know if anybody's gonna get value out of that. So I ended up putting this presentation together that I'm gonna show you. And I got a standing ovation. I was the only person that got a standing ovation at that event. And everybody came up to me afterwards, and I realized, and I was speaking to some gentlemen here last night about it, but some of the stuff I'm gonna show you on the next 30 minutes to an hour, you're gonna be like, I already know that. But almost nobody here is actually implementing it, right? And there's a big difference between knowing and doing, as many in this room already know, right? So don't be the person that thinks I already know this and you're still not doing it until you zone out, because I think there's also a few ways I'm gonna help you actually implement it so you're not leaving this event with just more information, right? And honestly, in the past few years, there have been a few experiences that have given me like a different perspective on life, right? 3 significant ones that happened. Number 1, obviously my dad getting stage 4 lung cancer. I am really grateful to say he is in remission right now. He's been 3 years in remission, which is incredible. Yeah, round of applause for that. The second thing is that a really, really close friend of mine, Jeremy, he's like probably like every single one of you in this room. Incredibly hard worker, socked away all of his money into real estate and crypto funds, literally worked 80, 90 hours a week and was like always setting himself up for the future. In August of last year, I got a call that he got in a head-on collision and died instantly. And I don't mean to make the room a little bit more somber, but the point of that was that I remember I was in Atlanta, or I was in actually Dahlonega, Georgia, and I was at this wedding, and instead of being at the wedding festivities, I was sitting on my laptop in a corner getting work done. And I remember when I got that call, I was like, what the fuck am I doing right now? And so I realized that like life is kind of a balance a little bit like between planning like you're gonna live forever, but living like you're gonna die tomorrow, which is much easier said than done. But that's what's led me to a radically new year in the past 12 months. And the craziest thing about it is I made more money than I did before. Less work, more money. So I pretty much stopped working so hard. I went on more vacations. I traveled to Italy. I hung out. I got much more serious with my girlfriend. I went on company retreats. I joined other masterminds. I would take a Tuesday off and go fly my plane somewhere. And the crazy thing about it was that I actually was making more money and I was working less, right? Like millions more than I was before. Like I think the best month when I was working so hard was like $200,000 or $300,000 a month. And it's so funny how sometimes we're just in our own way. We're literally in our own way. And that was one of the biggest impacts for me. I was like, wow, I think that I'm the smartest person, and I'm really not. And if I can hire other people that are smarter than me, then I can escape this race. And just to be clear, I wasn't like YOLOing my life away. I wasn't like taking every single day off and like going to Europe every week and like not. I was still working incredibly hard. But I think there is a key difference between like working hard and working smart. Once again, something you guys already know, but how many people here do you think are actually living that? And it was just now apparent. I mean, I remember my team, while I was in Italy for my brother's wedding, I think it was like one of the first $1 million months we hit, something happened. And I remember my team messaged me in Slack, because I hadn't been on Slack in 4 days, because I was in like the hills of Tuscany, there was no internet. And I remember my team's like, yeah, Ravi, just don't log in anymore. We do better when you're not here. And I was like, you're all fired. I'm just kidding. But it did make me realize, I was like, wow, that's pretty funny. This thing's actually working without me. And like all of a sudden, I always used to think, oh, I'm a personality-driven brand. Who thinks that your coaching business, you're a personality-driven brand? You can't escape the business. Yeah? All right. A few people. I guess you guys are all smarter than me. All right. I thought that, no, you can't exit a coaching company. It's a personality-driven brand. You have to always be on coaching calls. You have to be the person always creating content. There were all these limiting beliefs around what it had to be, what this business had to be, which I'm now living proof that it doesn't actually have to be that. Now, my intention here is to show you this. Now, the key word that I want you guys to write down on your paper right now is efficiency. That is the key word, my friends. If you can write that every single morning and you can live by this motto, you will make more money, be more productive, and be happier. That is a money-back guarantee. So, the definition of efficiency: capable of producing desired results with little or no waste in regards to time or materials. So essentially getting what you want with the least amount of cost possible, least amount of capital, least amount of time, least amount of resources. This is what we all want. This is what I want. More with less. That's pretty much what the bottom line is, right? So I started living my life by this efficiency motto. I was like, how can I be more efficient in everything that I do? My goal for this event, and at least for this next presentation, is to give you all the tools, the tactical tools that I've used to make both your business and personal life as efficient as possible. More profit, more fun, less stress, and more time doing what you want. Sound good?